You're on speaker. Go ahead.
All right. I saw that kid saying how much he likes being on with his dad and all. Well, you're the fucking kid here. Yeah, why don't you tell him how much you enjoy being on with me?
Well, look, I mean, it's great, but like, I mean, you got to admit that the majority of times that you're on are times that tell me that I'm fucking wrong about something, you know?
I'm there to clarify and correct.
Well,
You know,
know,
it's better to be, to get it right than to be spreading bullshit.
well, thank God for yep, that's right. Thank you for that.
Saving your ass. And I
Yeah,
and you're lucky I'm not there sitting next to you. I'd be correcting you every 5 minutes. Less than that sometimes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
Yeah, I told you about that shit about being mean spirited. I told you about don't say the word inferior and all that other shit. And nah,
Uh,
you always know better.
yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. Well,
Okay.
should have listened, huh?
Yeah. Well, let's hear some booms for old Pa there.
I'm not. No, there's no boom. Okay,
No, not even fucking one.
I just did it.
Yeah, right.
Okay, okay. Look, I'll call you later. I gotta finish my stream. Okay, I'm not even halfway done.
Hobby Lobby called the stuff's framed.
Oh wait, already?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
They're open till 8.
Okay. All right. I'll keep it in mind. All right. Yo. Bye.
Bye bye.
My dad had some stuff that he made in drafting whenever he was in like high school, and it was like like dioramas of like guns and everything, and we had them framed very recently in at Hobby Lobby, and so we're gonna go probably pick those up later on today. We'll get five booms for the for Hobby Lobby. Yeah, the drawings there. I'm not sure where we're gonna put them up yet, but yeah, we did that a little while ago. Anyway, we'll go ahead and we'll move on. And Rocking, he's showing. Yeah, you know what? I might. But we'll go ahead and we got to look at them first. Anyway, we'll take a look at that. Nah, okay. Apparently, I got something wrong. Yeah, all right. You're on speaker again.
Don't forget that they were sent to the fair and got an award at the fair too, and that they're not dioramas. They're machine cutaways showing the profile of the gun.
Okay.
It's a Luger and a Mauser.
All right.
But don't forget, I won some shit for those.
Of course.
All right.
All right. Yo. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right.
Okay. 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 All right. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this one. All right. You guys see him? Yeah. All right. Let's go. Apparently Kamala Harris, I can't even believe this happened. She made a Fortnite map. And by she, I mean she probably has no idea about this as her campaign. But there is a Kamala Harris Fortnite map now. That's right. That's right.
Before getting started, right off the bat, depending on when you watch this, the US presidential election will either be right around the corner or already over. But regardless of the outcome in that election, the story itself is no less absurd, and hopefully everyone on either side of the political aisle here can take a moment in this video to appreciate that. Alright, with that said, today I want to talk about Fortnite and Kamala Harris, two subjects that obviously should never.
Isn't it funny that on the same day that Kamala Harris decided to put out a Fortnite map, Donald Trump decided to drive around in a garbage truck?
Intermingle, because the Harris campaign, one of the most hilariously absurd displays of fiscal irresponsibility I think I've ever seen during a political campaign ever, has decided to make this whole Freedom Town initiative, supposedly reaching out to young gamers slash voters in the process. When you actually look at the entire situation in context, it is just pure comedy.
All right,
First
let's
things
see
first, with just days to go in the 2024 presidential cycle, the Harris campaign decided to unveil a new Fortnite map called Freedom Town USA, which is supposed to reach out to young voters and appeal to the gamers, if you will. Okay, cool. Sounds fun. And they had this whole reveal trailer on their social media pages with a soundtrack by Megan the Stallion, or Megan the Stallion, I suppose. But a few seconds after you first hear about it, I'm
Uh-huh.
pretty sure everyone starts to scratch their heads, because why would you advertise policy positions or an overall political campaign, generally speaking, to a bunch of Zoomers and Gen Alpha children who can't vote? It's
I don't know if I agree with that. I think that there's a lot of people that play Fortnite that can vote. I'm sure there's dozens of them.
actually really funny, but I'll go through step by step from the beginning. For starters, Freedom Town, USA, which is what the Harris campaign map is called, and they've even got a whole website for it,
Of course.
doesn't allow guns. It's called Freedom Town.
So the only thing that you can do in the Democrat city is break buildings and destroy property and loot items, but there's no guns.
Town, and it doesn't allow weapons, which makes it immediately one of the least popular maps in the entire game. If you go to Fortnite.gg and look at real-time player stats, you have to go back 13 pages before you find Freedom Town, which is
It
less
only
than
has
400
300
concurrent players right now. Just for the sake of comparison.
It's getting beat by FBI Tycoon. Oh no. Wait, no, just barely. It's ahead.
Random fan-made maps with zero marketing that don't come from a presidential campaign often have numbers that are
Bed
10,
Wars.
20, 50 times higher than that very easily.
Oh my
Second
God.
important thing, as funny as it is to have a map called Freedom Town from a political campaign where
Yeah.
they take away the guns, in a game that's popular because of its battle royale combat component, the entire thing appears to be openly violating the Epic Games terms of service.
What?
From the island creator rules on the official Fortnite website, quote, whether commercial content or not, your island and your island's metadata must not include calls to action outside Fortnite, solicitation to join, participate in, or donate to a real-world religion, political organization, or military organization.
Epic Games has the opportunity to do the funniest thing right now.
Product claims, dates of offer, or pricing. And
Oh my God.
sure, you could argue that they're just advocating people go and vote regardless of party affiliation.
Well, it's a call to action.
But that's still a call to action
Yeah.
outside Fortnite,
Exactly,
which
yeah.
makes this a pretty blatant violation.
This is
of their terms.
outrageous.
To be fair, no one's playing the map, and no one really cares. But the fact that no one's playing the map and no one cares about it logically segues into my next point,
Right.
which is that you probably couldn't even find a worse way to spend a bunch of campaign funds if you directly tried to. Bear with me
I don't
because
know
now
about
it gets
that.
a little bit more complicated, but publicly available statistics of the Fortnite player base overall look like this from Statista sourcing Verdo. 62.7% of the player base are between the ages of 18 and 24. 22.5% are between the ages of 25 and 34. 12.7% are between the ages of 35
what's wrong
and
with that?
44, while just
That seems
2% are
fine.
above the age of 45. Right away, those
wrong with that?
numbers are completely and totally wrong,
Oh.
obviously, because they
that's
don't
what's
even
wrong.
acknowledge the age brackets below 18.
Sure.
But rather than simply making a claim, I want to put numbers down and showcase just how unbelievably stupid you have to be in order to dedicate political campaign resources to a Fortnite map called Freedom Town,
Okay.
which doesn't have guns, and advertises Kamala Harris's policy positions like small business tax incentives or affordable housing.
So what's the how do they get taxed? Is like the taxes where like the people come in and they destroy the building and they take all the stuff? Is that how the tax? Because I don't know how the taxes work. Right? How does it work? Yeah.
Let's do it like this. Pretty much every single demographic claim
the fan
out there
attack.
tracks back to one single study by Verdo Analytics, but that study assumes that literally 0% of the Fortnite audience are under the age of 18. That's obviously not true, and yet everyone says it, so how do I go about disproving it? Well, according to GWI Consumer Research in 2 different studies from first quarter 2021 and first quarter 2022, which
Yeah.
surveyed 13,000 participants each and was a few years ago, and the numbers are growing, just keep that in mind. The percentage of gamers who had played certain games / played them in the last month included 40% of Generation Alpha respondents who were born after 2010.
I'm going to give like a real take on this, right? I made a joke earlier. I think it's totally fine for them to do that. And there's tons of people, probably millions of people that play Fortnite that are above the age of 18 to vote. Obviously, a lot of kids play Fortnite, but a lot of adults play Fortnite too. The game was really popular among a bunch of different audiences, and the game got popular in 2018, which was 6 years ago. So if you were 12 and you got into Fortnite, now you're 18 and you can vote. So, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really think it's that bad of an idea.
That means, in no uncertain terms, 40% of the entire Generation Alpha gamer study play Fortnite. And yet the most dominant publicly available statistics for the Fortnite player base claim that the entire audience is above the age of 18.
Yeah, it's not a
that
big deal to me.
notion could not be further from the truth.
Of course not.
The fact is, an enormous percentage of the Fortnite audience are like, what, 12, 13, maybe 14 years old? And yet the Harris campaign is devoting resources to make a map that takes away one of the most integral mechanics of the entire game and then tries to motivate the player population into voting for her, which they all...
It's a stupid implementation, but it's a decent idea theoretically. It's just that they went about doing it in the dumbest, most like patronizing and weird way possible.
Obviously can't do. It's already very on the nose how stupid the whole project is.
Would you have accepted a $200K offer to play the map for 2 hours? Yes. Absolutely.
Just from that alone. But how about this part? Yeah. Turns out Epic Games at the time received the single largest FTC fine ever for violations of COPPA, which is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act.
Oh, that's like, yeah, they're recording information for kids under 13.
Quote, using privacy invasive default settings and deceptive interfaces that tricked Fortnite users, including teenagers and children, end quote. Keep in mind, the company was penalized almost $300 million, and COPPA pertains to children...
That's like almost an entire week of skin sales.
...under the age of 13, which means Epic Games was using deceptive Fortnite monetization on children who not only can't vote, they also can't really do anything.
Well, that's why, I mean, like, that's the best thing, right? Is like, if you want to get a kid, you want to, like, fucking short-circuit their brain into like a gambling like fixation as young as possible. That way, by the time they turn 18, they'll gamble all their money away. So like if you can get them addicted to gambling at like 11 years old, by the time they're 18, they're never going to think about the statistical probability about winning on a slot machine. They're going to think that they're a winner and they can do it because they're special. Yeah, it's like you have a kid and like the kid starts watching Cocomelon and then he's advances to also eating Lunchly. And then after that, he starts playing Fortnite and Minecraft. And then he's watching TikToks that have 3 videos playing at the same time while he's playing Fortnite and Minecraft. He's going to school. He's 9 years old. He doesn't know his own name. He actually can't even spell it. And he doesn't know what math is, can't use a computer, doesn't know anything. And then by the time he's like 15, finally he kind of learns how to write his own name, can't read a clock. He's autistic, obviously. He's been self-diagnosed from Twitter. And I mean, these kids are just totally fucking... They're fucked, man.
The complaint itself alleges that Epic Games collected data on these children, thus the fine.
Yeah.
But the point is to demonstrate that while publicly available metrics often, very often, refer to the Fortnite player base as majority 18 to 24.
Oh, you guys, I forgot about the Galaxy gas. Yeah.
Or like 60% of them in those claims. That claim is nothing but fiction.
Yeah.
And the real audience is extremely young. This is something widely known by pretty much any content creator out there, any streamer, any YouTuber, et cetera, because their audience is majority children. They know it, they cater to it, and they monetize it.
That's true.
Which makes it even more hilarious that a political campaign would devote their resources to pursuing this particular game, if they're reaching out to gamers, as a way to court the young adult voters.
Well, to be fair, it was also pretty stupid when they thought, oh yeah, here's how to connect with the young video game players. Let's start playing World of Warcraft. I'm pretty sure Tim Walsh, if he played the game, would be the youngest World of Warcraft player.
Freedom Town USA is attempting in its gameplay to expose players to Kamala Harris's policy positions. An example would be affordable housing stances or small business tax credits, which are featured directly in the map. And sure, some video game players have a small business or care about affordable housing. I myself have a small business.
And that's actually a really good point. This still isn't as cringe as Pokemon Go to the Polls. With how bad this is, it's not even like, people won't remember this in like 3 years. People will remember Pokemon Go to the Polls in 5 years. And it was like 8 years ago.
Position would be worth understanding for me. But how many Fortnite players are not only legally able to vote, which is not that many of them, but also have a small business? Realistically, I don't think I could even find a worse way to spend campaign donations compared to this, which is really saying...
I can. Paying Twitch streamers to pretend like they care about politics and vote. I think that's another really good way to light money on fire.
Something. All of you watching, at least in America, have likely been completely inundated with political...
The thing is that, like, Nick, like, whenever I heard Nick was like, yeah, I've got to talk with, like, some, like, the Democratic campaign, I'm like, dude, I thought Kamala or Tim was going to come on his show and they were going to cook, like, I don't know, some sort of food together. Like, I thought this was going to be fucking badass. And then it was just like, bro, Nick got scammed. That would have been sick. Yeah, it would have been awesome. They would have made pancakes or something. Exactly. What the fuck?
Advertising. If you're watching this before the election, you probably got a political ad right before the video. You'll get another one after, and you might even get one right in the middle, unless you have ad block, but YouTube is fighting tooth and nail to make ad blocking impossible, so there's that.
That's right.
But my point is that there's a monumental amount of money being poured into the presidential race right now. However, that doesn't mean you have to just set the money on fire. Kamala Harris heavily...
They should have given me the money, and I would have, they should have... If the next time they have a political campaign, just give me the money.
Raised Trump in the last portion of the election cycle, but between them, according to the New York Times at least, they spent $500 million, with a billion with a B, in 16 days. That's an unbelievable amount of money.
And they didn't give me any of it. Fuck these guys. Fuck, this is, bro, I might have to vote for Trump now. This is ridiculous.
At a certain point, especially when you consider something like Freedom Town USA, it becomes clear that they're not just spending money, they're openly throwing it away on things that might even have negative overall value to their campaign. While looking into the topic for this video, I found thread after thread after thread of people citing the metrics where 60% of the player base is supposedly 18 to 24, saying things like, oh, well, that makes sense then. And I'm honestly baffled by the amount of people who genuinely think that this was an understandable use of funds. It isn't. That's not to say that Trump is any better with his campaign funds, because he's not.
He absolutely is. The McDonald's thing will be a 10 to 20 year meme. It's not even close. It's a million times better. Yes, I'm sorry. And then the garbage truck, he's driving around in a garbage truck. Like, it's not even close.
But the cross-section of swing voters...
and then going on an interview with Aiden Ross and then dancing in front of a Cybertruck that's wrapped with Make America Great Again. They're listening to Frank Sinatra inside of the Cybertruck, shaking hands with XQC, who's wearing a white t-shirt of Donald Trump with a fucking chromed out grill, and they end the stream with Donald Trump and Aiden Ross dancing in front of the Cybertruck to Village People's YMCA. I'm sorry. That was fucking funny. That was it. Wait, he did that? Yeah. That was some real content right there.
Who not only play Fortnite in the first place, which is basically none, but would also be influenced by this kind of thing, ends up being a number so small that any realistic campaign manager or any statistician involved with the campaign should immediately realize that it's not worth spending money on. Ooh. Look at this, as if I haven't proved the point already, but look at this. This is from Vice News. Quote, Kamala Harris dropped a new custom Fortnite map.
Yep.
I promise you read that headline correctly. Kamala Harris is taking her campaign right to Fortnite in a truly surreal way.
Is it really surreal?
Maybe
I don't
it's
think
because
it's surreal.
I'm so game-pilled, and I'm not even a Fortnite.
Do you guys see it? You guys see it? It's crazy, huh? Yeah.
Guy, but it's a pretty cool move. End quote. That has got to be one of the most out-of-touch things I've read.
Maybe it's because I'm so game-pilled that I'm not even a Fortnite guy, but it's a pretty cool move. How is it possible that people can be that uncool? How is it like? How can you be that lame? It's crazy. Like, oh my God.
Entire year. It gets better though. Quote, the vice president of the United States promoting a Fortnite map is dope AF, and I'm here for it. Me too. Additionally, at the risk of shaking the foundation of my unbiased journalistic integrity briefly, I do think it's insane for a presidential nominee to do something like this, so people who play video games still get ignored when it comes to certain areas of recognition. Furthermore, there are still people who think gaming isn't a legitimate art form, after all. You can laugh all you want. This is how you reach young people.
This is so bad. You know what they should have done? They should have had an AI write this. It would have been better. Like, there needs to be like an AI filter for millennial cringe. It's so this is so awful. Like I know people are like cringing and like, oh, we hate the Costco guys, right? I'm sorry, but I would rather watch a 10-hour loop of them spamming boom than read one of these fucking articles 3 times. This is horrible. It's awful. Like,
it's true.
This
you
only
gotta
gets
dance
one
in these
boom,
circles
guys.
if you want folks to vote for you. Otherwise, you're leaving crumbs
worse.
on the
It's not even
table for your
close.
opponent to potentially clean up. Seriously, though, read the following sentence and acknowledge it as a reality. Kamala Harris, the sitting vice president and current presidential nominee, released a Fortnite map as a legitimate piece of her campaign. What a world. End quote. What a world indeed. When they say crumbs, they absolutely mean crumbs.
Yeah.
Because the actual voter metric upside to this move is probably negative. I would bet pretty much anything I have that this not only didn't gain her any votes, it actively lost her a few. I obviously can't prove that, but watching the mainstream media...
Did it cause her to lose votes? I don't think so. I think that the only person who's done anything in the last month to change voters' perception is Trump. Because I bet there's going to be a lot of people who are going to vote for Trump because he worked at McDonald's for a day. Just because it was funny. That's about it. No one cares about this? Yeah, I don't think it really matters. Yeah, it worked. Yeah, for 15 minutes. No, I don't think it's going to be that big of a... Rogan, too? Yeah, Rogan driving around. Like, it's just, yeah. Oh, God, work for a day? Look, everybody knows it's bullshit, okay, guys? What do we have? Do we have any Redditors, any Bible debunkers here that are going to try to come in and community note the fact that Donald Trump didn't actually work at McDonald's? Fucking, of course he didn't actually work at McDonald's. No shit. Duh.
Unironically praised the release of a Fortnite map called Freedom Town,
actually.
which doesn't allow guns in Fortnite, with the player base being what it is demographically, has dealt a pretty major blow to my impressions of general political aptitude. I know I'm not the only one who sees this and realizes how dumb it is. And because of that, I wanted to talk about it publicly. In the end, political campaigns will waste money on whatever it is they feel like.
They do.
And they've certainly got plenty of it to waste, and they've been doing it a long time. But this felt
Where
like
do
a
they
pretty
get that
extreme
money?
example of irresponsible spending. And I'm still
don't know.
confused why anyone with an ounce of common sense would pitch, execute, promote, and then stand behind it while the media praised it. You could have done anything else with that money, and it would have been better spent.
I think that they're just not very good at making decisions, and the people that are running the campaign aren't very talented at creating things that have a good image and that spread a good message. I think that's straight up the reason. Like, it's just people that are bad at their job. I mean, you don't really need to reinvent the wheel to come to that conclusion, do you? I feel like, yeah, it's pretty simple.
What a world.
Yeah.
If you want to support
They're
the
just
channel,
bad
check
at
out
the
the links
job.
down below. A special VPN deal, locals and Patreon for monthly memberships. I won't take your money and spend it on a Fortnite map, don't worry. And more, but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for
Spend
watching.
it on Fortnite
Question
skins
everything,
instead.
and have a nice night.
Man. If it wasn't for so many other games coming out recently, I want to let you guys know that I would 100% install and play Fortnite and play her map. Abso-fucking-lutely.